Hello friends, neighbors, John, your neighbor here. Welcome to the Nook. Welcome to Sunday. I'm going to shoot a couple of samples here and they're both peated, but one is a Scotch and one is a single malt from Canada. So pretty different spectrums. One I've had in this little sample jar from Sean for some time. Sorry it's taken me so long, Sean, but I'm going to talk to you about a sample of a private single cask Port Charlotte release. I was waiting to shoot that against a regular Port Charlotte 10-year-old, but I just don't have one on my shelf. And then I'm going to talk about this Two Brewers single malt, also peated. But this was a special release too, shared with me from Travis. I believe it's the private bottling that went to the Edmonton Scotch Club. So this is just some let's taste some whiskey together, because I don't think either of these are on anyone's shelf. But it's always good to pour a little scotch and share some of my thoughts. So why don't you pour something? If you've got it, pour something peated. Come on back. 3, 4. As I tried to say in the opener, this sample doesn't even have a label on it. Came to me from Sean quite some time ago out of Vancouver. Thank you so much for sending it. And I just didn't want to pour it until I had Port Charlotte on the shelf. And I went an entire year, almost 2 now, without buying a Port Charlotte. I've had it before. I definitely appreciate Bruichladdich approach to whiskey. I love their focus on Islay. You know, local grains, local malting, everything they want to do as much as possible. Are they doing their own malting yet? I can't remember. But Bruichladdich on Islay, put out some fantastic whiskeys. This is true to their regular Port Charlotte in the sense that it's 40 parts per million in terms of peat, so it's a full peat expression. But I'll put some more information down here just for the geeks and us that want to see it. But it is, I think, a 10 or 11-year-old. And it's released at 63%. And the sad thing is I poured them both at the same time, so I can't tell who's doing it, but my Nook is full of beautiful, rich, oily smokiness. Let's try this one on the nose. Yeah, right now, the nose on this is beautiful. Now, it's been open for a super long time, so perhaps some of the edges have gone. Right now, even though it's 63, it's just inviting. It's just pulling me in. It's got a nice balance of light vanilla and smoke, but it's got a little earth smolder to that smoke, but in a pleasant way, just like a pleasant peat fire would be, I imagine. A little bit of graininess, a little maltiness there on the nose. Yeah, some barley, malt sugar. I've been saying it more lately like a biscuit type, a little bit of texture to that. Oh, smells really good. Let's give it a try. Sláinte. Cheers, John. Boy, that's good. It's got heat, 63%, open for a while or not, comes at you with a punch, but light citrus, a little bit more lemon than a deep orange. Sweeter fruit like a pear. Oh, so rich, dark smoke. Such a nice quality on that. I keep coming back to that, like a little bit of now there is a dark note to that, so like a little bit of coal in there that's got a little bit of that creosote, but I'm getting no iodine right now. Might be coming later. More just dark fire. We've been around the campfire for like a couple hours. Embers are going low. We're all well smoked. That's kind of where I am. That end of the log type stuff. Another sip. That was quite sweet. The second one there was really quite sweet. Almost like a cooked down cherry, which I don't normally get in Scotch. So I'm sure that's the wrong note, but just something fairly sweet. just genuinely sweet. Yeah, actually, no, I'd even go more, not cherry, but like a really sweet white grape. Something like that. Unique. I really like this, and I wish I had waited until I had bought another Port Charlotte. I don't know why it's taken me so long, but I also am down in the samples that I've just got to shoot a few of these. So this next sample, I imagine a few locals, if you watch my show, will have tried. This Two Brewers is a special or a single cask that was to celebrate the partnership between the Edmonton Scotch Club and Two Brewers. And I think I've had a sample of this. I think Paul gave me that. But this is from Travis, who shares so freely of all his whiskey. And I think I found it on his social media, a bit of a story of how this whiskey really connected to a lot of people in the Scotch Club. And I am thankful for all of the friends that I've made there and the connections I hope to yet make. They do some great work supporting food bank and really helping improve our communities. So this is 58%, and I believe it's aged in ex-bourbon, but finished in PX sherry. Just as this is natural color and lighter, this is natural color and definitely has a darker hue. Let's try it. Two Brewers, special cask for the Edmonton Scotch Club. Oh, it's so different. It is radically different. Sure, I'm already getting some peat, but all that smoke that I talked about in the room, that was coming out of this one. This is more like I get that PX finish. It's got some more fruiting, different layers of fruiting. We've got a little bit of berry. Yeah, and some red fruits in there, and then just more orchard fruits. I don't know the age on this, but where this took a little bit of time to speak to some malt and some biscuit, this is really malty up front. I feel like it's younger. I'm going to say like it feels like a 6 to 8 year old somewhere in there, whereas this like it's 10, 11. Now that's not a big age difference, but it just has a bit more of that malt in the nose. Yeah, and I'm going to go back into that berry and jam, sweet and some nice fruit. Try it on the palate. Cheers. Thanks, Trav. First impression is it coats a bit more and is in some ways more relaxed than this. Now it's 58 instead of 63 or 60. No, 63, I think. So we've stepped down in percent. Little more of that fruit nature is still playing around. There's some other spicing that I wasn't getting on here though. There's some, what is that? We usually just say baking spices, but there's some, a little bit of ginger. I would say a little bit of cinnamon, but there's some of those kind of spices playing around. Better try another sip. That's got a lot of character in the palate. Lots of character, and more spices have come through now. So I've got a really nice balance of sweetness, fruits, baking spice. Not, okay, I was about to say not as much oaks, but it's just that it's not, even though it's peated coming off of this, and it might be peated to a significant level, it doesn't have the old smolder, well-smoked ash that I was getting over here. This is a little more earthy, a little more forest floor, that kind of peat. Definitely fresher than this, but quite different. It's actually getting a little bit spicy now. As I've had 2 sips, it's kicking up and kicking around a bit. It's got a little, I'd even go with some cracked pepper in there, some tobacco. Yeah, it's got some interesting, it's going to evolve, I think. And both of these need a little splash of water to come alive too. Thanks for joining me. I always feel a little bit bad shooting samples that I know you can't run out and get, because I can't run out and get. These are unique casts, single cast, private casts that have a story and probably mean more to the groups that were part of making them. But they're both good whiskey, and I appreciate Sean and Travis for you sharing your whiskey with me. And I'm getting pretty low on samples, so I think what that means is I've got to send out a few more. Anyways, thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing some whiskey with me. Hope you have a great week ahead. Take care.